Let's talk about backgrounds. Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about backgrounds when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now, first let's talk about the differences. You do have backgrounds in the Dungeons and Dragons 5e book that you can choose from. And all of those are fine. I mean, I did have a video in there, what was it? I can't believe they put that in the book, talking about specific backgrounds that leave in things that are kind of rapey. But we're really not talking about that. Backgrounds in the game like that are absolutely helpful, and I'd say necessary, because it gives you different skill sets and things that you'll be able to use in the game. The type of backgrounds that I'm talking about are the ones where you will write a backstory for yourself. Now, a lot of players will choose to write a backstory for their characters. And if you're in a role playing group, it's a good idea. Even if you're playing Adventures League, it's a fun thing to do. Whether or not a backstory is problematic is going to be determined by how you write that background. Now, if you're playing an Adventures League, I'll give you an example. One of my DMs is running a table right now, and they have someone that took a lot of time making a background, developing a character. But the problem is their personality that is being played through that background is that they want to be as annoying as possible to everyone around them. Now, hopefully you would understand why this is problematic. One of the things they do, like all night long, they're slamming doors to wake people up. You don't get a long rest, you start suffering levels of exhaustion. And this player is actually going to cause extreme problems for the party if they continue doing this, because as your characters get more and more exhausted, you're able to do less, you're able to move less, you're not able to get your spell slots back, and it's going to mean that the party is going to get killed because you have a player who essentially is playing like a jackass. So the one thing that I do have to say, this is an Adventures League character. I just heard about it, and at this point, I will go over next week and talk to them and say, you're being a disruptive player. You need to change your background and how you're playing the character, or you won't be welcome back at the table or playing here at all, because disruptive play is cause for being told you can't play anymore in Adventures League. So it's a real easy fix. If you're playing open play in Adventures League, if someone makes a background that has a disruptive trait or attribute to it like this, where they're going to constantly screw the party over. Same thing goes for if you're trying to steal magic items. Magic items are given directly to players. You can't steal them from them in Adventures League. If you're stealing gold or stealing or doing anything disruptive, and that's the way your background's written, rewrite it. You're going to get kicked or told to rewrite it. And you don't have a choice. It's not you get to do whatever you want. You will do what you're told. Now, in a private game where these types of backgrounds become disruptive, and I've seen it where an edgelord sits down at the table and they write up the most extreme, stupid, heinous background they can think of, and it's there to get reactions out of the players. I mean, I've literally heard of and seen players that write backgrounds where they were molested as children. So now they're psychotic, or they're this, or they're that. I mean, if you're writing a backstory and any of it at all could be construed as inappropriate, don't do it. I mean, for goodness sake, it's not that difficult to write a background that's fun to play. And here's the important part. If you're writing a background, it should be creating a character that's fun to play with as a member of the party that's playing with this character. If the only person that's having fun at the table because of your background is you, I mean, essentially you're a jackass. You shouldn't be playing like that. Don't write backgrounds where it's only fun for you and everybody else at the table is miserable because your character is a dick. Don't do this. Backgrounds are awesome. I mean, I play a lot of campaigns where DMs want you to write an extensive background so they know where your character came from, and then they can write stuff in there for you into their campaign that's specifically attuned to your character, and they'll do it for everybody at the table. And it makes it a lot of fun, it makes it a very personalized experience, and it makes the game enjoyable. But when you have a character that makes a background that is disruptive, your background makes you steal from the party, kill party members, just do heinous acts, randomly. You're running around just burning down buildings because you're a pyromaniac. This is all going to cause problems for the party. If your background is going to be problematic for the party, it's going to be offensive in any way to the party because of the way you play it. If it's going to detract from the fun of everyone at the table except you, erase that background, write a new one that's not making you play like a dick or be a dick, or find a table that's willing to put up with the bullshit. But honestly, I don't think a lot of tables will put up with stupid stuff because they don't have to. I mean, it's very easy to find players. There are always people, I mean, with our group, people come up and ask, do you have an opening? It's like, no, right now we've got 6 players. We don't want to go above that. We don't have an opening. And we have a cap at our table, so the combat goes quickly so that the DM doesn't have to overpower things, and we just keep a cap at our table. And if someone does leave, we can fill that spot like that. People want to play. So if you're this type of player that wants to make disruptive, offensive, crazy, insane backgrounds that's not fun for people other than yourself, you're going to be replaced, and it's super easy to fill that spot that you're sitting in. So think about that before you make a background. Do you want to be able to play long term? Do you want to develop a playing relationship with the people at the table so that, I mean, let's face it, in my opinion, the idea of playing a role-playing game where it's a tabletop RPG, you're sitting down at a table, you are socializing with them. The idea is to make friends, have fun, enjoy yourselves so that everyone's having fun. Have a laugh, everybody should be having a great time playing. And if you're that guy or you're that girl, that edgelord or jackass that has to make something because you want to see the uncomfortable looks on people's faces, man, don't fucking sit down and play with people. Nobody's going to want to play with you. Don't do it. Unless you happen to find a group where it's all a bunch of jackasses and edgelords, then you'll be more than welcome. But I see very few groups that want to tolerate this kind of stuff. So make a background. The other thing, don't make this extensive background and expect when you sit down with this character for everybody to sit there and listen to this 10-page background for the next hour or two of your character. Your background establishes how you're going to play the character. No one needs to hear the oral history of your character. Make it brief, be able to talk about your background in 2 to 5 minutes at the most. And if it goes over that, DMs, tell them to shut up. You're gonna read it and you'll work with the background, but nobody needs to listen to an hour of this stuff droning on about your character. Just make a background, use it as something to guide how you play your character, and make it so it's not inappropriate, offensive, or insane, because players don't want to put up with that, honestly. Anyway, that's it for talking about backgrounds. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know about any crazy backgrounds you've played with. Maybe some fun backgrounds that you've written and played yourself and how you've played them. Or, any type of crazy stuff that you've run across. And let me know, have you kicked them from the table, or have you told them to change their ways or they're going to be kicked? Let me know how it's all turned out, because we've all run into these types of players. We all deal with them differently. I mean, our table usually just shuts them down. There are 3 of us that have been at the same table for 8 years. We basically run the table and we don't put up with crap. So let me know, and hopefully the dog will stop barking. Let me know how you've dealt with that, and remember to rate, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.